All right, welcome everybody to Third Life Crisis Games. Today we have a very fun episode that I'm really excited about for Mina the Hollower. We're going to be doing a review of that. In specific, Colin and I both played Mina the Hollower. Really, really excited. And let's jump into it.
You got it.
Awesome.
So, Mina the Hollower. The dev studio was Yacht Club Games. Publisher also Yacht Club Games. Came out May 28th, 2026. It is sitting at a Metacritic of 91, which is very
Pretty
high.
good.
And in OpenCritic, 98% of people recommended it, which is very, very, very high.
Which is honestly higher than I think I would have expected. But
Because of the
Yeah.
type of game that it is, I think it's higher than I would have expected.
yeah,
as
And for how many of the reviews were so polarized?
well.
Of like, at
Of
least Steam
reviews that you saw.
that
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took me about 25 hours to beat.
yeah.
Colin, how long did it take you?
I checked. I have, I think, about 24 hours in it, but I also played a little bit after I beat the game.
Sure.
So, if I remember right, it was a little over 20 hours to beat.
Okay.
Was that 100%? Is there 100% like gimmick or whatever?
That was not 100% for me. There was stuff that I didn't get.
Yeah.
So
I definitely
Yeah.
did not do everything. Let's just get this out of the way. Colin is a better gamer than I am. And so
that's true.
so I think
I mean,
I
actually,
would
it's-
say that.
it is
I
true.
played a lot of games with you guys, and Nate takes a while to get good at games.
Problem is Nate doesn't stick with it long enough to get good.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey,
Right.
I was actually thinking I want to do an episode about this in the future of like our individually like our best gaming moments.
Oh, I love that.
Oh yeah.
I'm
I'll
not
be
going to
down.
spoil it now, but I have one.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
involves you two that you need to be grateful for me forever after.
Okay. I'll
I am
have
so
to think
curious
about that
about
a
this.
little bit.
I'm dying to know what that is already.
Yeah.
But-
because I can't think of one for you.
I can't.
all of that to say, I'm not surprised that Colin probably did more in the game in less time than I did. Because I maybe did a few of the side quests and side things that you can do, but I finished the game and I put it down,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which I tend to do with most games.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk kind of what is Mina the Hollower. Steam description says, take control of Mina, a renowned hollower, hurtled into a desperate mission to rescue a cursed island, whip foes, burrow through the ground, and explore a pixel-perfect world in Mina the Hollower, a brand new game from the developers who brought you Shovel Knight.
You whip foes, huh?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Whip them good.
Whip 'em
And
real good.
Do you know, what does that mean to be a hollower?
So they
Unless
don't...
you're going to talk about it later.
I mean, we can't... I never found like a super good description of it in the game.
Yeah. So as I understand it, a hollower, like the hollowers are a group of people. I mean, there's a lot of animals in this world, so people, animals, using that liberally, that are generally scientists, and they also have the ability to burrow underground. And it's described that like, if I remember right, that like they are scientists who tend to observe the world like by studying the earth,
Yeah.
right? And so like them burrowing underground is kind of
A
part
form of
it's
experimentation and research.
or yeah, it tends to be related to that. Is that like I didn't quite gather if they have a special ability to burrow underground or if it's just like, hey, this is something that Mina does because she's a hollower.
Yeah.
But, you know, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
right?
no, that's what I kind of
Yeah.
gathered too.
Okay.
You run into like a few other hollowers in the game. Not many, but yeah. So I don't know. I don't remember exactly, but something to that extent.
10-4. No, that's cool.
So this is stuff that I found super interesting, inspiration or direction for the game. It started out as a side project of a team member at Yacht Club. There was a specific team member at Yacht Club who wanted to do a side project, basically wanted to improve their programming. They basically started developing Mina. It caught the attention of Yacht Club team management, and they basically said, oh, this is actually really cool. We should turn it into the next game.
What's crazy, that's like the third game I feel like that I've heard in the last year that came out of like a team member side project.
Or a jam or
a
something.
jam or something. Peak, I know, was one.
Kiln.
And Kiln was the other one. And so that's pretty cool.
When you let people be creative, they come up with cool
Dude,
stuff.
I was going to say that.
Man.
Yeah.
So they are treated as an equal then? Like you feel like this wasn't the yacht club stealing their idea. It was like, hey, you have this great idea.
I mean,
I deserve all the credit.
I hope not. But to me, it sounds like it was someone on the team came up with this idea, said, I showed them this, and they were like, I kind of want to make this game, and the team was like, this sounds like an awesome game, and made it. That's my interpretation.
Yep.
I like to think that there's good things in the world, I'm like you, Spencer, so negative.
Always
that's
negative.
What I'm saying.
Yeah, dude.
Quit looking at the positive.
Other inspiration or direction was the Game Boy Color. This was something that I learned. I didn't know. Super cool. It was developed to abide by the technical limitations of the Game Boy.
Yeah.
So
wow.
Outside of it supporting widescreen, you literally could play this game on an original Game Boy.
Yeah.
Which is really super cool.
Yeah, and I know like the music, they also I don't remember like the technical details of it, but they made it also to abide by those technical limitations.
Awesome.
So like they wanted it to sound as authentically Game Boy as possible.
Yeah, super cool. And then in terms of gameplay and game itself, the key inspirations were Zelda and Dark Souls, which I'm assuming we'll get into pretty heavily later on.
Yeah, for sure.
The plot and setting of the game, basically, there's this island that has these spark generators, which basically brings power to the rest of the island. Mina's one of the main ones who invented these spark generators. She, after inventing them, leaves. She comes back 10 years later. The person who helped her develop them, his name is Lionel. He's now in charge of the city, Osix, and he's saying, hey, Mina, these spark generators aren't working. Help us figure out what's going on. And the story starts there, and then you're off trying to fix these spark generators and figure out what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that was something that actually kind of stood out to me is it's also very like old school in that sense, where like the start of the game, you go through this sort of like intro area, and then you get I actually played the demo. Okay. And so the demo kind of takes you to this point basically where you get to Lionel, and he's like, hey, we need to like fix the spark generators. And then I kind of expected something else to happen and for him to say, hey, go do this specifically. But he just kind of like disappears. I'm like, oh, I guess I'll just go find them.
Yeah.
Cool. You know, which is a very old school kind of like game design.
Yes. I we'll talk about that later as well.
Yeah.
Because I agree. I was also lost.
Yeah. It definitely caught me off guard a bit.
Yes. Colin, why don't you start off with giving us your overall kind of thoughts on the game?
Yeah. I adored this game. I thought just everything kind of spoke to me a bit. I will say, like, I think DNA-wise, it's more Elden Ring than Zelda.
Okay.
And until I realized that, I was kind of frustrated with the game. I at the beginning, I did get a little pissed at it because it was kind of annoying. I felt like it was maybe too hard. It was it felt unforgiving at the beginning. But once I changed my mindset, then I realized that the game was pushing me away from certain areas. Like
similar to how Dark Souls games.
Yeah. Similar to very much Elden Ring, kind of like you're going out, you're exploring, and oh shoot, this enemy's actually too strong for you, and that's okay, go somewhere else. And so once I kind of realized that's what the game was doing to me, then it clicked a lot more, and I went somewhere else, and things kind of started to make more sense. I was able to kind of do some stuff that was more my level, and yeah, it clicked a lot more.
How long were you banging your head against the wall before you had that realization?
Not too long. Okay. It was probably like a half hour or so of like really trying to get to this one specific area that I was not ready for, that the enemies were too strong. And yeah, I think that I also kind of thought that this was going to be more Metroidvania than it actually ended up being. There's like the sort of subgenre Metroidvania that has kind of sort of been coined in the last several years. Outer Wilds being like a great example of that, where there's nothing that like explicitly keeps you from any areas. Not exactly true here, but mostly true.
Yeah.
There's no, I would say in terms of like, there's no item that you're going to get in the different dungeons that will change your ability to go somewhere new.
You don't unlock a hook shot or a boomerang or a bow and arrow. That then, I saw that thing that I couldn't do before and now I can do it because I have this item.
Yeah. Yeah, if anything, like those are kind of locked behind different trinkets that you can get. There are certain trinkets that will change how you are able to like traverse some of the map. And so some of those unlock different areas, but there's no like critical areas. It's just like secret areas. So, it helps you can find another trinket, or you can find the currency is bones here. And so just like those trinkets will let you get to those different like treasure chests or whatever, but there's no actual like core gameplay areas that are locked behind items that you would get. So,
Gotcha.
I think. So yeah, like I said, more Elden Ring than Zelda. I
just really quick.
I'll allow it.
So Elden Ring, has classes. Is there any sort of class system? I guess
no.
It's mostly that you die, use your stuff, and you go back, and you have to go find your stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, if an enemy kills you or something, then you have these like sparks. I think they're just called sparks, right?
So, yeah.
And so you can acquire more actually throughout the game,
so
that you have more chances to reacquire your sparks and get your bones back. The other thing that I realized not too far into the game is that if you don't really lose your bones when you die, they're still available to you. So you can spend them.
Huh.
And
there's definitely I wouldn't say gambling system there, but like a risk reward of, dang, I have one spark left. If I died this time, I'm losing my bones. Do I just, instead of trying to go back to save my spark, do I just kill some enemies here and then spend them?
Yeah. Do I go somewhere else, spend them, and just like so that I can hold on to them? There's also like certain ways that you can turn your bones into, I can't remember the term, but like hardened bones. That makes it so that you don't lose them when you die. So that's like another way. The game is actually more forgiving about that than you will initially think that it is.
Okay.
So I think that's something that kind of stands out, is the game gives you some ways to ease up on that a little bit.
Okay.
One thing in regards to like the Zelda kind of game design that I liked was it's very 2D Zelda in this sense that like you'll see a chest somewhere and you'll be like, dude, how the heck do I get to that? And you're trying to figure out, and so some of like the puzzle solving is this sort of organic, like I see that there, I know I should be able to get to it. How do I get to it? And that feels very Zelda to me, where you're like going through the overworld map or whatever, and you see a chest, and you're like, okay, I should be able to get to that. And sometimes in Zelda, it's like, oh, I just don't have the item that lets me get to it yet. And here, it's that there's some of that with the trinkets, but the other thing is that there's never one specific trinket that you need to get to a place. There are various trinkets that could, for example, let you cross this big gap or something.
Or sometimes you just need to make it further in that area as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So that was like kind of a cool thing. I think one of the other big things that stood out to me was that I thought the upgrades were awesome.
Yeah.
Like the upgrades that you find that you get for your weapons, for your health, for your stash size, like they all felt legitimately helpful. Like most trinkets that I found, I was like, that actually would be pretty nice. I can't really think of too many that I was like, that actually like would not do me any good under any circumstances. So I thought that the game that did a really good job of giving you those upgrades.
Yeah.
So
So you spent 20 plus hours.
yeah,
You said you loved it. What
Yeah.
would you rate it?
I would give it a 5 out of 10 because no high physical or no high fidelity. You know, it's the pixel art really drives me away. No, no, I think I would give it a 9 out of 10. I think.
Okay.
I'm also trying not to
Be conservative with
yeah,
you.
yeah. That like
Well-
legitimately, I think it's a really impressively designed game, and the gripes that I had with the game tended to be solved as I continued through the game.
That's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah.
And just so the audience knows, these guys haven't shut up about this game for the last week and a half.
Oh,
whatever.
dude, this game
And it's-
slaps.
We've been listening to the music. you
Yeah.
know, and so,
Which
like,
is why I
I-
got the faces from the 5 out of 10.
Yeah, I was like, what? No,
Yeah.
but so I don't think you're conservative at all with that.
Yeah.
with that number.
No, I really, this is a special game in my opinion. Some of that is a nostalgia factor. I've discussed my love of old school 2D Zelda games, especially Game Boy Color era, and this is
Yeah.
Game Boy Color era game. So this game is perfect to like hit me in the nostalgia bones. So yeah, really, really enjoy that.
That would be cool if you could somehow get it on a Game Boy, like
On a cartridge?
and
Yeah.
stick it in your
Yeah.
yeah.
No, that would be awesome.
That'd be sick.
Random note, when I was in Portland one time, I went to a farmer's market and there was a dude selling
Cartridges?
a Game Boy game. Like he made a Game Boy
No
game,
way.
put it on a cartridge, and he was like selling this Game Boy.
Oh,
game.
that's cool.
Yeah, no, it was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty chill.
Wow.
I don't remember the name of the game. Sorry, dude. But yeah.
I wanted to look it up really quick because I don't want to walk away from this not giving the original creator credit. His name is Alec Faulkner. So he was the one at Yacht Club Games who did this as a side project.
Yeah.
And then it originally was titled Gothic, but then they took that, ran with it, ended up making it the full game of the studio.
Which
Okay, wow.
which is also probably worth pointing out that this like it's more of a dark fantasy setting, which is
Yes.
also very Elden Ring like.
Mhm.
So I think they took a lot of inspiration from Zelda in style, some like puzzle solving stuff, a lot of level design. I would say also sort of like Souls-like games in terms of level design, but there's a lot of those shortcuts that like you go through an area and then you just open up a shortcut to get back, so it doesn't take you as long to go back, and
Yeah.
your sort of like bonfires, like a Dark Souls game, are these just burrows. And so you go into the burrow, and then you can switch your weapon, or you can switch your trinkets, or
And you
whatever.
heal and that kind
Yeah,
of stuff.
yeah. So
Nice. Okay.
I think I agree with you. I think I would do a 9 out of 10.
yeah,
This game is, I like how you said special. It is,
Yeah.
in my opinion, a awesome marriage of nostalgia for me as a kid who did play Zelda games on my Game Boy, and who loves Souls games.
yeah,
I think I would say it's maybe 25% Zelda, 75%.
yeah. That's kind of how I
Souls.
feel. Yeah,
Maybe 33, 60, 60
yeah.
Math.
67.
So yeah.
But I started this game and I actually hated it.
Yeah.
And I was this close to quitting
Yeah.
and not playing it because at the same time I was playing the demo for Adventures of Elliot. And
yeah.
I would play that, and it's such a fun, relaxing Zelda-like exploration game
Yeah.
where I'm not clutching my controller because I'm about to lose all my bones.
Yeah.
And playing Mina at the same time, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. There were several times early on in the game before I kind of came to the realizations that you're talking about, Colin, where I said I almost gave up and pushed past it, realized kind of what the game wanted me to do and how the game wanted me to play. And once I kind of overcame that, it was so much better, and I enjoyed myself so much more.
Yeah.
I bet all these negative reviews are just people that couldn't maybe
They probably
make
didn't
that
get very far.
Maybe didn't get very far, or just didn't get that mindset. They wanted to do their way and they didn't follow what the game was wanting them to do. Or
so let's get into the nitty gritty a little bit.
Yeah.
Combat.
Yeah.
The combat is really difficult. And I was reading stuff, they purposely make it punishing, where they take your habits and common gamer habits and they punish that.
Yeah.
Where it is, you're trying to jump right now. Guess what? Like in this situation, a lot of people try to jump. When you jump, you're going to get, what's the word I'm looking for? You're going to get... like juggled.
Punished?
You're going to get
Hammered?
juggled because this enemy and that enemy are all going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
You're going to get juggled 3 times. You're going to fall off the ledge.
Yeah.
And that would happen to me so much, even later on in the game after I thought I had learned my lesson.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what a lot of people complain about. And I'm not even saying that they're wrong. I think
they should get good.
There's an argument for that. I think it is... If you are down for a game that makes you get out of your habits and learn what is happening so that you don't get punished like that, great. If you think that no game should ever punish you like that, you're probably going to really dislike this.
Yeah. That's a good way to think about it.
I also think that it deserves the caveat that the game gets easier as you play it.
That's the other thing I wanted to talk about. And you and I talked about it quite a bit.
Yeah.
The game starts out with an incredibly steep learning curve.
Yeah.
And an incredibly intense... Not that even... Because like as you go on, the combat at the beginning doesn't seem very intense or very difficult, but you are learning a lot, you're figuring out a lot, and you take a lot of damage. And that's something I want to get to later.
Yeah.
You take a lot of damage from falling off ledges, which you can do very easily from any enemy. And so it does feel super punishing at first.
I think I remember at least one boss that kind of intentionally they have edges, like they have pits around the end, and it like just around the edges, and it just pushes you towards those.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah.
Like they getting back
you do take a lot of damage from falling off.
You take so much damage from falling.
That sounds like a Souls game.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And so I think that the game design is honestly, hey, we're going to intentionally do things that you don't like.
Yeah.
Learn to go around it.
Yeah. And like they also give you tools to circumvent it to some extent. Like falling off the edge, like there is a trinket that will save you and bounce you back up.
Yes.
And
that's one that I equipped immediately.
Yeah. Yeah. That one very useful.
Yes.
Off the bat. Yeah. So no, I think that the game, I kind of wonder how much of its philosophy of not explaining things to you is to its detriment. And I think that just depends on what kind of gamer you are. Like to some kind of gamers, it might feel rewarding to figure it out yourself. To others, they might just be like, well, no,
I'm used to this. I want it to be this.
Yeah. Or just just tell me how I should play it. That being said, did you ever look at the like game manual that they have in it? If you go to the pause menu, you can find the game manual.
I never knew there was a game manual.
Okay, so there's a game manual in here that is very much in like the style of old school. We've talked about kind of like my love for old school game manuals. Yeah.
Where I would bring him to the toilet. There's my literature.
That's your reading.
You saw your dad reading the newspaper on the toilet, and you're like, I can do the same thing.
That.
Yeah, I got that. But yeah, no, they have like this in-game. I mean, it's still like very pixel art sort of thing to an extent, I guess. But like it's in the game engine, and it just kind of goes through like what a normal game manual would do, shows you all the controls. It tells you what all of the weapons are off the bat and says what you can do with those weapons. Like, so it's not I think that's one of the interesting things. This game is it is not explicit with you about most things, but the instructions and the tools are all there.
Yeah.
You just have to find them. Should it point some people more in that direction? I don't know. That just, again, I think it just kind of depends on your preferred flavor of game, but I liked it. I think that it was rewarding to kind of figure those things out and find those. This is a game of a lot of secrets, and finding those secrets, even just like a game manual hidden in the settings, like it feels good to me.
Heck yeah.
Okay, so obviously a lot of high praise for the game. I think that that's a really good jumping off point for what I think walking away from the game left me as like one of the central themes in their Yacht Club Studios game design was how much they let you customize almost everything.
Mm-hmm.
So the game is very difficult. We talked about that.
Yeah.
There's a learning curve. We also said it gets easier. And I think that what Yacht Club Games does here is really, really cool and really interesting game design wise, where they bring you this really difficult game and then they say, hey, here's a bunch of weapons. Which one do you want to use?
Yeah.
Almost immediately you start unlocking trinkets. Hey, here's some trinkets that you can customize that will make the game easier how you want it to be easier.
Yeah.
Hey, here are these, and this is a whole system I want to talk about. Plasma vials, healing vials, which they don't do in the traditional sense.
Yeah.
They make it so you have a limited number, you use them, and in order to use them, you have to do damage to enemies.
You fill them up by attacking enemies.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I don't love that there's that along with you run out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So once you use it, it's gone. You can't kill enemies to
no.
get that vial.
So
there are a few times where you will find plasma vials out in the wild to like refill it for you. It's pretty rare.
Okay.
Yeah. So I forget how many you start with, but you start with like 3 maybe.
I think 3.
Yeah. And so they're empty. You attack enemies. They fill up. You use 1. You keep doing that. You use 3, and then you're out.
My favorite trinket was actually it would allow you to fill your plasma vials past what you normally could.
Oh.
And so because a lot of times you would like, if I remember how the UI was right, it's like you have your health and then you start to fill your plasma vials
above that health.
Above that health.
Yeah.
So it's like if you want to get it to fill your health, like under normal circumstances, you can only go to the max of your health, right? But then like there was a trinket that allowed you to go past that.
There you go.
So that you can you're not doing this like, okay, I have to like decide, do I want to use it now to like make sure that I get the health back, or like, oh, I might as well use it once my health gets. It just gives you a little bit more flexibility.
Sure.
I liked that one. So.
Yeah, but that once again, customization.
Yeah.
This is not a hard game that says this is how the game is. This is how you have to play it.
Yeah.
Go and
Suck
do
it up.
Suck it
Yeah.
up. This is a hard game where they say we know this is really challenging.
Yeah.
Here's 10 different ways for you to play it the way that you want to play it.
Yeah.
But of those 10 different ways, there's no like one way that's like turns the game on easy mode, right? Like there's no like meta.
Go ahead, Colin.
that was a very good like synchronous reaction to this. So the game provides modifiers.
Right.
So there is in the menu, you can go into the menu and you can adjust like Mina takes half damage.
Mina does double damage.
Mina does double damage.
No, I wasn't expecting
Mina can
that.
jump super high. You can change like the color palette of the game. Like you can do.
I
all
forget
sorts
how
of
many.
stuff.
There's I want to say over 200, but I could be wrong.
I think there's over 200 total because you unlock more when you beat the game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So there were the one thing which makes sense is that it will like disable achievements for certain ones that you turn on.
Yes.
And so
Okay.
I was tempted to I wanted to try out a few, and then I didn't try them out because I didn't want to disable
Wanted to get
achievements.
achievements.
Not that I really care that much, but it was like, well, I'm already like 90% of the way
Yeah.
through the game. I don't want to disable achievements at this point.
So,
And
what I did is I copied my save to another file.
Oh.
I turned on some modifiers.
Geez, I didn't know you could do that.
Genius.
Yeah.
Nice.
There you go. So I
more
copied to
stuff.
another file, turned on some modifiers, played for a little bit, and then went back. We talk constantly how stubborn I am about certain things.
Yeah.
I was like, I am not going to turn on modifiers that turn off achievements. Not even that I'm a big achievement guy. It's
Yeah.
just my pride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
was the same for me. Is like I don't want to make the game easier for me. I want to play this game at the intended difficulty.
Yes.
So yeah, no, I was kind of the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it
You can turn it on easy mode. That's the thing. You
you
can
can.
if you want.
I wasn't expecting that type of easy mode, like
Yeah.
mods or
yes,
whatever. But
it
yeah.
is going back to this whole thing. I think that Yacht Club Games did an awesome job of. We know we're making a difficult game. We're going to give the people who want to play it at the intended difficulty a ton of options.
Yeah.
We're also going to give people who say, you know what, like, I really love this game. I just don't want to play it at this intended difficulty. A ton of options to play at whatever difficulty they want to play.
You can make it harder if you want.
Yes, you can
Yeah.
make it harder if you want as well,
Yeah.
which is it's just very cool. And I think just Yacht Club Games did a great job.
Yeah. It's really, this game is whatever you make of it. There's a question that you were about to ask a minute ago, and
No, it was that question. Well, I guess maybe is there a mod that gives you a map? Isn't there aren't people griping about the map?
So you can unlock a map at one point. There is never a detailed map like you would normally get in like a Zelda game.
Right.
It is very high level. Like you see the world and you can like it's detailed enough that you can see, oh, here's this area and here's this area and here's this
Yeah.
area. But it's
And
never
you can
detailed
purchase
enough.
the ability to see what unlockables are left in those areas.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
but
Yeah.
you can never see like, oh, here's this path that leads to this path. I'm
Yeah.
trying to get over here, and here are these 3 paths. Oh, I need to go this way. You can
Ooh, I
never
would
see
have a
that.
hard time with
Which
that.
my normal gaming sensibilities had a really hard time
Yeah.
with that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was super stoked when I realized I could buy a map. Super disappointed when I realized that the map was not as
Wasn't quite a
detailed
map.
as I would have liked it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
not to draw a tangent, but quickly, I guess at the end of last year, I played Hell Is Us.
Oh, okay.
I know
Yeah.
that you started Hell
I
Is Us.
started it.
Yes.
And then did not keep going because I realized it was going to take a lot more energy from me than I was ready for at the time.
Yes, but I think that's the connecting point here is I think both the developers of Hell Is Us, which I am blanking on right now, and Yacht Club Games looked and said, we're making it too easy for people, not in a bad way, but just in a we are not going to cater everything to you. Like figure some stuff out on your own. And I think that Yacht Club obviously purposely did not give you a super detailed map.
Yeah.
They could if they wanted to, but they wanted it to be, hey, you can go and figure it out. Like go and explore and maybe make some mental maps here of where you go and have fun.
Yeah. And like, I think one thing I was like, well, there's fast travel was another one. That like from the beginning I was like, well, there's not really a fast travel system. It would be nice to be able to fast travel. As you progress through the game, you unlock ways to kind of travel around. You unlock different shortcuts. There's a train that you can pay a ton of bones for and
so
stuff.
many bones.
And yeah, so again, I feel like every gripe that I had was eventually addressed.
Yeah, and not to seem like I'm glazing them, but it's like every gripe I think was almost purposeful.
Yeah.
Like we are making, like Yacht Club Games was making a purposeful choice to say, this is the game design.
Yeah.
We're going to offer you a way to solve it. We're not going to give it to you.
Yeah.
But you can figure it out.
Yeah, you don't get Legend of Zelda off the bat. You can fast travel to any shrine. It's like, no, like, and I think to that point, they make it very like natural in terms of how it works within the world.
Yeah.
The train be an example,
Yeah.
right? That it is. So once you unlock the train and you travel on the train, you are on the train. Like you go onto the
Oh.
train and then you're on the train for a little while, and then
Did you know you can
so
skip
it's like
it, right?
yeah,
Okay,
which you
just making
you
sure.
can
Oh,
skip.
okay.
Yeah. But it's like, oh, cool. They tried to make it as like logical
world.
in the world that you're in as possible, which I thought was kind of like a cool touch.
Cool.
Is that they're not trying to give you like, oh, you can fast travel anywhere just because like that's convenient. It's like, no, like you're going to earn everything that you can do, and it's going to make sense in the world.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's a neat touch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they do a lot of those things that are. I agree. Everything that I had a gripe about felt intentional, and whether or not that's great, that's arguable, right?
Yeah.
Like whether or not it served its purpose, like that just depends on who you are. I think.
Yeah, and I would never. If someone came up to me, if you played this game, Colin, and
Yeah.
you were like, I hated how it did X, Y, and Z, I would say, I totally understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
and that, it wasn't for you, and that's cool.
Yeah.
Uh,
That is interesting. I agree. I don't think this is a game that I would die on the hill that this is the greatest game of all time, because I know it's just not going to resonate with some people.
Well, so
Yeah.
let's go back to something we talked about at the beginning of the episode. 98% of people on OpenCritic recommended this.
98%.
That's crazy.
That's a lot for the game that it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
That kind of is built in a sense to drive people away. Yeah, that's a lot
That's
more.
wild.
I mean, and to be fair, it's like, I don't know, who's rating games on OpenCritic? Probably some pretty hardcore gamers. But,
Yeah.
But also hardcore gamers are, picky a lot of
Yes.
times. So I guess it can go either way.
Going back to Spencer's point about the Steam reviews, lots
Yeah.
of people are very critical of the game design,
Yeah.
of boss
Yeah.
design, of a bunch of stuff.
Man, but the game design is, oh my gosh, the level design, the game design overall, to me is flawless.
Yeah.
Like it's not that it's for everyone, but I play this game and I see you guys thought through every inch of this place.
Yep.
Like every inch of it is designed as they intended it to be, and I think I'm just like a sucker in general for intentionality in game design and in art in general.
Yeah.
That is like, if I can see why you did something that is like you want it to serve a purpose, it's unique, it's different, maybe it's hard and isn't like my favorite thing in the world, but if I can see that it is utilitarian, I guess, and that it serves a purpose, I'm a sucker for that.
Which, I don't know. We'll talk about that some other time.
Okay. Whatever it is.
Yeah, no,
sure.
No spoilers.
No
yeah.
spoilers.
Yeah.
Well, I should ask. Did you guys choose one weapon? Did you guys switch weapons? Do you guys change up your builds? What was that all about?
Go ahead.
I started with the hammer. The hammer is like the
hammer.
big heavy weapon. It takes a moment to like swing it back and then swing it forward. You can also, I don't remember if it's off the bat that you can do this or if it's with an upgrade.
I think upgrade.
Okay.
If I
you
know
can
what you're about to
charge
say.
it.
Yeah, I think upgrade.
Which means that you can hold it basically for as long as you want. I kind of liked that because it gave me the ability to just kind of like time it. You can also like dodge roll.
I was gonna
with it.
ask, is the hammer the one that lets you dodge roll
Yeah.
when you are charging?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
I at first thought that it was a Souls-like dodge roll with invincibility frames. It's not. It's definitely not.
No
You-
invincibility.
No.
frames.
You don't get invincibility frames. You can dodge out of the way of things,
But
but
you
you
still get
cannot
hit.
dodge through things.
Oh.
Which
10-4.
yeah, I think after playing so many Souls games, I'm like,
You're
where's
kind of trained, like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna
Dodge
dodge
through.
into this enemy
Yeah.
as it's
Yeah.
attacking
at a
me.
certain
It
point, I
doesn't
was
work.
like, oh, I want to learn how to time this right, and then I realized, oh, there is no timing this right.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep getting punished for this because that's
Another
not
one
how
of those
it's
things they're
intended.
punishing.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I stuck with the hammer for most of the time, and I think that just kind of worked for me. Let's see, the flail was actually, I didn't use the flail much. There's a couple of other, I don't know if I necessarily want to go into. It's not really even spoilers as to as to the other weapons.
Well,
but
don't you have choice of all the weapons except one at the beginning?
Except for two.
Except for two.
There
okay.
are two.
So
and you can also, like I said, if you go into the game manual, it'll tell you, it's not spoilers, because it'll tell you in the game manual that you can access from the beginning. These are all of the weapons.
Okay,
It'll show you all 5.
Sure.
Do you get ranged weapons?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So the flail is kind of more ranged.
Okay.
Yeah.
And well, it's like a flail whip sort of thing.
It's like a whip
yeah.
with a mace on the end.
Yeah. And then
Sick.
there is and then there's a coffin shield that you get that you can throw and it'll like come back to you like a Captain America shield.
Boomerang.
Yes.
Exactly. You can also when you upgrade it, you throw it and you can jump on the shield.
Yeah. I never was good enough to do that.
I was only able to do it a few times. And then there's another weapon that you get that is like this dual gun. And
throwback to Replaced. It's kind of like the weapon in Replaced where it's a baton and a gun at the same time.
Yeah. And so you'll just like recharge that gun as you attack enemies and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
There's like a lot of variants. And the other one that you can get from the beginning is these knives. The knives just like attack a bit faster. They're more close combat. I actually kind of liked the knives once I got them. But
I didn't like the knives. So I played with the whip for the vast majority of the game.
Yeah.
There were certain bosses though that I would change to different weapons.
Yeah.
So I actually ended up playing a couple bosses with the shield, a couple bosses with the hammer, a couple bosses with the charge gun.
Yeah.
I never got into it with the knives because if you notice when you attack with the knives, you slowly get pushed back. And I just couldn't do that because you take so much damage so easily. I couldn't reconcile in my brain attacking, getting pushed back, and then having to go back towards the enemy without touching them and getting close enough with how short the range of the knives were.
Yeah.
And so I did not love the knives, but
Not
I
a
did.
knives guy.
I found a.
So that's Hollow Knight style. Because Hollow Knight is the same. I remember there's
Yes.
like a whatever you call it.
What are they called?
Anyways, there's a thing that you can use in Hollow Knight that makes it so
pin.
that you a pin.
Are they not called pins?
No, pins are what you put on the map. Anyways, so that you
idiot.
so that you don't get knocked back, so that you stay in place. You actually like knock enemies back. Anyways, that's what
Anchor.
it made me think of.
It's an anchor.
No. Sure. Yeah.
Almost got it.
But yeah, so I actually found a good use of all of the weapons, which was another, going back to the main thing we've been talking about. It's like, do this however you want. And there's a bunch of different ways to do it. They're all fun. They're all cool. They all have their own quirks.
Yeah.
I actually hated upgrading the shield to getting a shield throw.
Yeah.
Because I was used to just bashing people with the shield.
Oh,
and then it's
I
like,
kind
no,
of
now you're throwing
agree.
the shield, and now you can't bash with
I-
it. It's
Oh.
like, dang it.
I think if I remember right, there's actually a modifier or a setting where you can map it to like a different button or
I saw
something.
that. I saw that after I
Um,
beat it, sadly.
Yeah,
Oh.
which I think should be the default behavior in
I
my
agree.
opinion.
Yeah.
Just because it is you get used to using it trying to parry with the shield, and then as you're doing that and you're mashing the button, then it just throws the shield and you're like, "Oh shoot, now I'm defenseless."
Yes.
So, that's a great time.
Dang.
Can I give you some of my, I think, just legit criticisms?
No.
Things that I
No
don't,
criticisms.
things that
I
I,
won't
had
allow
gripes
No
with.
negativity.
Yeah.
And
We've already got Spencer here.
Yeah,
we
that's my
don't we
thing.
don't need more negativity. Yeah.
I feel like I have to do it for the people.
Do it for the people.
Okay, do it for the people.
Yeah.
Be fair.
No dodge roll, which we already kind of talked about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that this was purposeful. The hollowing
Yeah.
in battle, I never got it down.
Really?
That was
Because-
a big gripe I've heard.
Because when you hollow,
Did you try getting good?
I tried so hard.
That's the fix.
You jump in the air
Uh-huh.
and then you go underground.
Yeah.
And you're invincible to most attacks, not all, most attacks underground.
There's very few that you're not invincible to underground.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you pop up. The problem is, and it's just, once again, it's that Souls part
Yeah.
of me.
Yeah.
I want to dodge right when I need to. So
Yeah.
I would
Instead of
try
popping
to
up and-
exactly. So I would try to hollow right when I needed to,
Yeah.
but instead you need to hollow a half
that's
second
tough.
before you need
Yeah.
to.
That's really tough.
So I
Yeah.
would end up taking damage as hard as I would try not to. I'm about to get hit. Let me hollow up in the air, take damage, and then go.
Yeah.
And so I would take damage anyways.
Yeah.
And so while I understand why they did it, and we've talked about them being purposeful in these decisions, I do not like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting. It didn't really bother me. I was kind of interested to see that it bothered a lot of people. For whatever reason, I guess the timing didn't
Affect you.
throw me off
Sure.
too much.
I said, because you're a better gamer than I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does the benefit outweigh it? Like if you hollow,
I mean,
like,
you're invincible the whole
but-
time that you're
Oh,
on.
it's
You
just
could be
a shield.
underground for a while.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and I would attach a trinket that allowed me to be under. I think it's like the Iron Lung or something that allows you to be underground even longer.
Okay.
Which is great both for like traversal and for dodging attacks.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, I think that's fair. For whatever reason, that didn't bother me that much.
Sure.
But it's just their way of trying to balance that. Like, hey, it's actually really nice to be able to go underground. We're not gonna let you
Just do it
just
without
like,
cost.
yeah,
Yeah.
you have to
Okay.
think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I'm not good enough to think about that cost.
Yeah, yeah. I will say that like not having a dodge roll is, I wanted to dodge roll. I think like to be able to dodge roll that like it's I don't know, just playing enough of these games, it feels like it should be there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
they
that's
went
tough.
with a different mechanic, and so yeah.
Yeah.
My second and biggest one, the checkpoint system.
Yeah.
This game has a lot of platforming and has a lot of. This is part I wouldn't even consider platforming. There's an area that has a lot of wind.
Yeah.
And the
Oh my
wind would
gosh, yeah.
change direction. And so when you're trying to make a jump that's 2 tiles wide, you need, or I guess I'll say 3 tiles wide, you need the wind at your back. So you wait for the wind and you go and you jump and the wind takes you, but then the wind pushes you. It's really hard to stop your momentum.
Yeah.
And so then the wind pushes you off the next ledge.
Yeah.
Or then you make the jump and you stop yourself, and then the wind starts pushing you the other way.
Yeah.
And so then you're fighting as hard as you can. And
There's
then,
enemies that might hit you and like knock you back
my
into the pit
gosh.
anyways.
and so you get 90% of the way through this section, and you fall off, and you start at the very beginning again.
Yeah.
And
the
it's like-
wind was probably my least favorite. The wind and the lightning, I think, were my
Oh.
least favorite gimmicks, which is incidentally both the same places.
Yes.
Like it's the same place.
Extensions of the same place.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And there are sections very late in the game that have pretty brutal platforming.
Yeah.
And I don't want to call it a weak checkpoint system, but a very unforgiving checkpoint system where I was spending 20-30 minutes in a single platforming section because I would make it most of the way and then I would die.
Yeah.
And I'd have to start at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So I would, if I had, I'll even take back the hollowing critique. If I could give just one critique to the game, it would be the checkpoint system.
Yeah.
But even once
Yeah,
again,
you're only allowed one critique, so take your pick.
Spencer takes the rest of them.
I'll
Yeah.
take. I got it.
Yeah.
But one thing that I cannot give enough kudos to, and Spencer talked about it at the very beginning, this soundtrack is incredible.
Dude.
Yeah. As someone who hasn't played the game, usually I need to play a game for me to get attached to the music.
For it to mean something.
to mean something to
yeah.
me immediately. I mean, you played Gator Gallop, I think it was called.
Yeah.
So good.
Yes.
I played on the way over here.
Not to spoil anything, there's one area, and I already kind of vibe with this kind of music anyways, but there's one area that is basically the bayou that is my favorite area in the game, and the music in that area is just
Yeah.
It's
a
Nate-
bop.
Yeah, Nate texted me, was like, "Hey, what's the best music in the game?" And I was like, "You're probably the Swamp. Like, I think that's my favorite." And he's like, "Yep,
That's
the one I'm
correct.
thinking of."
That's the correct
Yeah.
answer.
There's one
Indeed.
other area that I was maybe considering that's kind of late game area, but yeah, no, the Bayou music is really good. Speaking of, what was the first area that you went to?
I went to the tomb.
Oh, okay,
Tomb.
yeah, that makes sense.
Is that the
one's
weak sauce version? Weak sauce
no. That one's pretty accessible. The one that I tried actually to go to that I was getting beat back from was the desert area.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I tried going there, and I was just like, I was having trouble making it even into. There's like this kind of cave you have to go through to get to the desert area. Even like I was trying to beat the enemies right in front of that cave, and I was getting walloped.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they beat me back from that.
Dang.
As they should.
As
Yeah.
they should.
Yeah, as I deserved. So
Well, Colin, do you have any closing remarks about Mina the Hollower?
yeah, I think one thing that stands out to me in this game that I loved is the exploration. We've talked about my love of just like exploration in games. And this game is a masterclass in rewarding exploration.
It is.
Yeah. I mentioned you see a chest, you try to figure out how to get to that chest, and you solve the puzzle of how to get to that chest, and you might explore just like a different area. I mean, there are some things that I saw that I spent so much time just like trying to find anything.
If I approach it from this angle.
Yeah. And again, I think how rewarding the exploration is backed a lot by how good the upgrades are. Even if you just find bones for most of the game, until I got to like the end of the game and I had bought everything, like bones are valuable.
Bones are very valuable.
Yeah. And so just being able to do that, to level up or to buy things, I think makes the exploration really cool, and you find different things. It's very like, I mean, there are various side quests that you might find. There's no like quest tracker or anything, but yeah, no.
Which does make it, just a quick side comment about that. It does make it, when you talk to NPCs, it makes you feel like, was I just given a quest?
Yeah.
Is there something I'm supposed to do?
Well, that was. I mean, we were talking about like that's how I felt from the beginning when the like Lionel is like
just leaves.
Hey, yeah, so go fix these,
Fix the
please,
generators.
and then he's like gone, and I'm like, oh, I
Where's
guess
the quest tracker.
Yeah, I guess I'll go do that. So yeah, I think that's really cool. And then I have more thoughts. I have so many thoughts on this game, man.
Go ahead.
I think the other thing that I thought was cool and very Souls-like-ish is the sort of like tragic storytelling of various quests, which at the end there's like certain things that kind of hammer this one home. But for example, so one example is you rescue someone's fiance, but they were like so tired of waiting, so they just like left him, and like you do something for an NPC, and then they like transform and attack you, and it's very Souls-ish,
Tragic.
Like, this tragic sort of storytelling. Again, not for everyone, but I thought that was something that they did well, that they're going for. I mean, it's a dark fantasy kind of setting, but
As someone who doesn't feel, helps me feel things.
Yeah. Have you considered therapy? That might help.
Oh, believe me. Believe me, I'm in it.
Yeah. No, so I think the biggest one really though is like the exploration. I loved the exploration in this game, and I will beat around this bush a little bit, but there is like a particular kind of like game-long secret that you have to solve to get to a late game area. How long did it take you to figure that one out? If you don't know what I'm talking about,
Did we talk about it? I think we must have.
we might have.
Okay. It took me until I needed it.
Yeah.
It took me because I finished all the main areas, and then I knew that there was this next area. Was kind of confused, looking around.
Yeah.
And I had come across these things throughout the game that I didn't really think much of.
Yeah.
And then I realized, I do this. Come to find that those things that I had seen throughout the game, I needed to do something to in order to unlock the final thing.
Were you like wondering about them the whole time, or did that not like click with you?
I interacted with them.
Yeah.
I didn't interact them in the right way.
Yeah. Well, you interact with them and you're like, oh, is this
it?
And then there's like some conversations that you'll have with NPCs that allude to these.
Yeah.
And is like, oh, there's something weird going on here. I just like don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But
So I think there's 5 total. Or are there 6?
I think
there might be
there's
6
6
because there's 6 areas.
Yeah.
I think I probably interacted with 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
And then with the next one, I actually interacted in the correct way.
Yeah.
And then I was like, crap, I'm going to have to
gotta
go back to those other ones.
That
aren't
was
I?
a little annoying.
Yes.
I thought it was a really cool
The long
puzzle.
con.
Yeah. I thought it was a neat puzzle, and I thought the payoff of this area that you go to is really worth it. Anyways, beating around the bush a little bit because I don't want to spoil it.
Sure.
That was another one that I really liked. I thought that was fun.
Yeah. Awesome.
So yeah.
Nice.
Do I have last thoughts? Yeah, I have several.
A few.
Yeah.
No, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Spencer, do you have any last questions?
Yeah, just one more. So you mentioned in the previous podcast that your wife will watch you play, and maybe your wife does too. But
Some games.
Sometimes Sarah's been too busy with pottery. She doesn't watch me play anymore.
Dang it.
I'm all by myself.
But did Annie watch you play this? And do we have her mark of approval?
With this one, no. So
Okay.
Annie actually, and it's interesting. Annie is such an artistic person,
Mm-hmm.
and I tend to connect art styles like this one with people who are really artistic because I think it's such a cool way to portray something, but it probably just has a lot to do with my nostalgia.
I think you
for
have
it.
to have a specific relationship with this art style for it to mean something to
Probably.
Yeah.
So
you grew up with the Game Boy or something.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, so like you look at games like Minecraft or Stardew Valley
yeah.
and that kind of thing, and I'm like, I think Annie would love these games
Oh, yeah.
because Annie is very much a story person.
Yeah. Sarah does love Stardew Valley.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Annie also loves certain time management or survival type games, so I would think that she would love those. But she is actually kind of turned off by pixely art.
Okay.
And so I did pull this up to play a couple times when she was there, and it just didn't grab her.
She didn't really care.
Sadly.
Yeah.
So the Annie altimeter,
Altimeter?
the Annie meter,
I like it.
we did not get approval on the Annie
She
altimeter.
said on a scale of 1 to 10, this one was like a 1 for her.
Ooh.
In
Oh,
terms of
did she say that?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
rough.
In terms of like
Interest.
backseat gaming kind of thing.
Oh.
But
Yeah, okay. Backseat
Because
gaming, I like that.
she watched almost all of Elden Ring with me. She watched a
wow.
lot of Pragmata. She watched a lot. She watches a lot of the games that I play.
yeah.
But there are some even replaced where it just doesn't fit.
Yeah.
with her.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to bring that back for future episodes. The
Annie meter.
Annie meter, Annie
Yeah.
altimeter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. Great. Some of my last thoughts or words, in my opinion, art style, top notch.
Yeah.
Super great.
Art it's the art direction, right? They had something they were going for. They had a direction they were
And they
going in.
nailed it.
And they nailed it.
Yes.
Like they achieved what they set out to do.
They did. We already talked about it. Soundtrack, phenomenal.
Slaps.
I listened to it in the car.
Absolute
we
bangers.
play it as
Certified
house
bangers.
music and get ready for the podcast.
Yeah.
It is just so good.
Yeah.
Gameplay, we talked about a ton. It fits whatever you kind of want it to.
Yeah.
And I love that. For me as a kid who grew up with a Game Boy, totally fit in like that style and that feel for games that I played, and is very nostalgic
Yeah.
for me. So
Yeah.
Would you recommend it to the average casual gamer?
That's a good question.
no,
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that's fair.
because I don't think they'd appreciate it the way
Yeah.
I do.
Wouldn't
I
appreciate it as many levels as I
yeah.
do.
Yeah, which is why I regret recommending Outer Wilds to Spencer. He's
Swine.
He just is
So
uncultured swine. No,
I'm getting to it. All right.
I think that's fair. I think it's not for everyone. I would recommend it with modifiers to anyone who grew up playing Game Boy Color games.
That's a good way to put
Nice.
it.
Yeah.
If
I would not necessarily recommend it at its normal difficulty.
sans modifiers.
Yeah. I would say do modifiers.
I think if you throw in the modifier aspect, I guess I would give it 2 caveats. If you're okay with pixel art,
Yeah.
and you're okay throwing modifiers on, then I would say 100% anyone.
Yeah.
If you don't like pixel art, no, I wouldn't recommend it. If
Yeah.
you are the type of person like myself who generally is not going to throw modifiers on,
Yeah.
then I'd say, I mean, you could, you might not like it though
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah, for sure.
Or you might not get over that initial hump.
Yeah, makes sense.
So awesome. Thanks everybody for joining us. We appreciate it. Hope that you liked hearing about Mina the Hollower, hearing our thoughts and good questions.
I liked hearing about it.
I did.
Me too.
I could talk about this game for a long time.
Yeah,
And get into the
Yeah.
nuance of the intricacies of the gameplay.
If we
and
weren't
stuff.
trying to keep our podcast in a reasonable hour time to 50 minutes time rather than our previous hour and 15 minutes time, I'd have more thoughts.
Yeah.
But
Please leave comments on your thoughts on Mina the Hollower.
smash that subscribe button.
Smash it.
that like button. Ring that.
Both
something.
like and subscribe.
Smash 'em.
Any of those things that so you
Clobber
can
those
hear
buttons.
more of us
Yeah.
talk about games. Please do that. Leave us comments about Mina the Hollower, about our thoughts on Mina the Hollower, and have a great rest of your day. We love you. See ya.
Bye.